South Africa's High Commissioner to Lesotho, Sello Moloto, is winding up his mission in the Mountain Kingdom of Lesotho. After serving a 5-year term, Commissioner Moloto admits that his tenure in Lesotho hardly ever had any dull moments. SABC correspondent Rapelang Radebe had a chat with the ambassador in Maseru.
It's described almost as a love and hate relationship between Lesotho and South Africa. A classical case of siblings when it is suitable, and switching to that of neighbors when things go tough. It is these teething issues that kept the then Deputy President Ramaphosa extremely busy in Lesotho. Going back in time, this is a man who has seen it all.
You'll recall that when I arrived here, Ndade Ramaphosa was still the Deputy President and the facilitator of Lesotho. He was coming to Maseru almost every month or so.
Following an era of much instability of political and military turbulence in Lesotho, the regional body SADC tasked the then Deputy President Ramaphosa as a facilitator on reforms process for Lesotho.
And when he became president, we then had Ndade Moseneke taking his position to do the facilitation work almost on a daily basis. And we are happy that the work which has been done of facilitation has brought us to a point where we can safely say we have reached a point of no return. The reforms will happen. What is left is for Parliament to enact all those changes which will come through the National Reforms Authority.
But of most concerning is the movement of goods and people between the two countries. Due to the homogeneity existing between these two neighboring towns, the official boundary lines are often rendered invisible to both sides.
Actually, if you ask me, my experience here is that among Basotho and South Africans, ordinary people, don't recognize these borders. These borders are a formality of governments who think about sovereignty. Actually, Basotho who cross over the border into South Africa, when the people tell them that they've broken the law, they get so surprised. That's why even the case which is going on here of the South African soldiers who were nabbed here at no man's land still don't understand why they are arrested, because that's common practice. It's common law practice where a certain culture is developed among the people who are living next to the border to cross in and out.
Moloto believes that if this situation is not given proper attention, it might actually degenerate even further.
If governments, the two governments, don't make proper decisions, particularly around the issue of the free movement, people are going to do it themselves. And unfortunately, if people are not led, that exercise might be a bit destructive and even lead to the loss of life. It's better that better mechanisms of control and management are put in place to ensure smooth transfer of people across the border. And I'm happy that the senior officials will be meeting maybe next week or so to revive the bilateral relations mechanisms, which are going to be focusing particularly on this issue.
It is his soft but tough demeanor that brings out a real diplomat out of him. He's always the one to provide a real and practical solutions and never shy to say what nobody else would dare say.
Actually, there's consensus across the board that the borders should not be there should be a free movement of particularly the First Nations, Basotho and South Africans across the border. Only third nationals should be the ones who have to present control measures of the border, visas and passports and all that. But unfortunately, my sense is that it looks like there's no one who's bold enough who can stand up and say, this is what we should do. Because obviously for political reasons that either way, political leaders of Basotho will claim that whoever said that sold the nation or sold the land to South Africa. And from South Africa's side, probably the hesitation is that South Africa is very careful in dealing with Lesotho. It doesn't want to be seen to be playing a big brother role.
As a commissioner, Moloto looks back on some of the gains made. He's only glad that his contribution has made a positive statement, applauded even by his superiors.
We're not even talking to one another when we started, but now they are able to sit under one roof in one meeting and make far-reaching decisions in the best interest of the nation. For me, that's a huge achievement.
Lesotho, a geographic enclave of South Africa, has had a problem that was internal to Lesotho solved by a citizen of South Africa.
We've been able to help Basotho to finally come to their own homemade solutions.
And clearly, he's got a lot of stories to tell. As he anticipates to actually even write a book about it, Ntate Moloto remains one of the finest that has served between Lesotho and South Africa. Rapelang Radebe, SABC News, Maseru, Lesotho.